The finish of last night's State AA boys basketball semifinal between Yankton and O'Gorman will go down as one of the most talked about in the history of South Dakota Prep sports, while sparking a debate for the inclusion of instant replay in high school championships. If you haven't heard or seen it by now, defending state champion Yankton led O'Gorman 42-41 with 6 seconds left. O'Gorman's Luke Ronsick takes up nearly all that time, gets to the lane, puts it up, gets it to go, and the shot was ruled to have been released before the buzzer, giving the Knights a 43-42 victory. However, upon replaying the video, you can clearly see that the ball is still in Ronsick's hands after the clock had hit zeros and the buzzer light had gone off. Despite this, there is no rule allowing officials to use replay to review a call, as you see several replays of it right here, and thus the referees have no chance to overturn the call via the replay. Now, the South Dakota High School Athletic Association issued a statement shortly after midnight saying that while the National Federation of State High School Associations does allow states to adopt instant replay in basketball under very limited circumstances, and the topic of instant replay has been broached, it has never been passed by the advisory stage of the rule change process, which is the first step that would then require a vote of state athletic directors, followed by 2 readings of the SDHSAA's Board of Directors. The statement would go on to say that while the SDHSAA will examine the use of instant replay in basketball through the coming year, through its normal process, official decisions must be regarded as final. So we move on, and both teams are moving on this afternoon. The final day of competition out in Rapid City. The third place game, you got to wonder how Yankton felt playing in this one. Well, they gave it a pretty good game. They fall in overtime to Harrisburg, game that just wrapped up 70-64. And the championship, for whatever it's worth, if you could pull that up one more time, O'Gorman and Brandon Valley, that game coming up at 8:30 tonight. Might be a little late because, again, that last game went overtime. It is the state championship, although in many people's mind it might have an asterisk next to it. Well, meanwhile, in Sioux Falls, there certainly is no controversy over the final of the State A girls tournament. Between them, Winter and West Central have won all 47 games they played. One would suffer their first loss, though, in today's title tilt, which I unfortunately can't show you because the game just started. It was about 50 minutes late, so they're still in the second quarter, and of course I can't show highlights of a game that's in progress. So we'll have plenty of highlights at 10 o'clock. Winter actually got out to a 7-0 lead in this game, but West Central has battled back. Again, highlights in reaction to this one coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. Well, one of the more bit of business from last night, great semifinal in the B between Clark Willow Lake and Bridgewater Emory. Didn't make it to air last night due to technical difficulties. No difficulties for Jamin Aaron there. He had the steal and score. He scored 13, 16 all after 1. Cyclones up 2 at half when Micah Burke gets inside. He had 12 points, and it's still a 2-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. Sawyer Schultz changes that with the pull-up on the baseline. He ties things up. He had 25 points, but there was no answer for Jacob Prouty. He puts Clark Willow Lake ahead with 2 of his game-high 37, and the Cyclones are in the title game, 56-55. So here's your championship schedule for tonight. Obviously, we just showed you the boys AA. It'll be Clark Willow Lake and DeSmet at 8 o'clock. DeSmet, of course, beating Viborg Hurley yesterday. Their girls won the B title. We have a crew on our way up to Aberdeen. We'll have highlights of that one at 10. The boys A, T and Sioux Falls Christian. That'll probably be a little after 7:30 because of the late starts. And the girls AA championship just about to get underway. Brandon Valley and Lincoln, again, we'll have highlights of pretty much everything coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. Well, after coming up a bucket shy of winning the Division II National Championship last year, the Northern State men's basketball team carried over the mantra of not done yet this season, which saw them repeat as NSIC champions and return to the Central Regional. Today, they begin their quest to get the national title that eluded them last year in the first round of that Central Regional against Southeastern Oklahoma State and their Savage Storm, which is seriously their nickname. Cole Dahl broke a first-half tie with back-to-back threes, and Northern was looking good. They led 48-35 at the break. Dahl had a team-high 27. Second half appears to be more of the same. Justin Decker inside with a little hook shot. He had 18. The Wolves led by as many as 14. In fact, with a little over 2 minutes to go, it looks like Gabe King's going to put this thing away when he gets to the bucket and puts it in. The Wolves up 13 with 2 minutes to go. But aided by turnovers and missed free throws, Southeast goes on a 16-6 run, and they got a chance after a missed free throw here to tie. Kevin Buckingham, who had 43 points, you knew he was going to take the last shot. He ties things up. We go to overtime, and it was all Savage Storm living up to their nickname. That's Adam Dworsky for 2 of his 32. Northern State is stunned. 115-103. Their season ends at 26-7 after being just 2 minutes away from advancing to the second round.
We made some mistakes late, and they just made us pay every time. But it's one of those where we had a chance late.
Finally, the boys state hockey tournament in semifinal play up in Fort Pierre. One game in the books so far. Rushmore with a 6-0 win over Brookings. Sioux Falls Flyers and Huron meet at 7:45 in the other semi. Hope to have some highlights from that one tonight at 10 o'clock. We're back in one moment.